Day is Saturday, November 25th at Salty's in Grand Harbor, Red Bay. Your $25 ticket can win Rotary Central Music Extravaganza, a major fundraiser taking care of community projects by Rotary Central. Rotary Central, NPO number 232, creating hope in Cayman and the world.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, welcome and thanks very much for joining us. Truly a terrific Thankful Thursday as we invite you to be a part of it. You get a chance to focus on education, and there is the UK Educational Fair on the way, and we're going to tell you about it, how to be a part of it, how to ensure your children upskill and enjoy their academics. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow, Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome and thanks very much. And I always wanted to have the pleasure to focus on education to ensure that our parents understand that giving our children every opportunity to advance is so good for us. So, Ms. Fiona, welcome back. We had some fun yesterday. I'm hoping today I know even better, right?
Absolutely. I've got 3 amazing schools joining us today. I'm Fiona, the Director of Beach Education, and I'm really delighted to be hosting 12 UK schools and 2 universities for our event today at the Marriott, 3:30 till 7. Come down and learn about these amazing schools.
You know, and the notion of being able to bring together all the different schools represent sort of different approaches to education, whether we're focusing on sports in some or heavily in academics or even bringing in the arts. I think it helps us to appreciate how making that child well-rounded as they go into the world, not just to work, but to enjoy life, to live. Well, thanks very much, Ms. Fiona. And if I might, as we had discussed prior to coming on, perhaps Ms. Anne, start with you first and then go around the table. Welcome. Good afternoon to you. A brief intro. Tell us about it. We're going to have some fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to enjoy
we're going
it.
to have so much fun this afternoon. Hi, I'm Anne. I am the Director of Admissions from Sherburn Boys School, but I'm also here today to support Sherburn Girls and Sherburn Prep. And we're just delighted to be back and looking forward to meeting some of the families that we met last year.
Mm-hmm, indeed.
Hello, my name is Matt Way. I'm the headmaster of Stonner School, which is a 2 to 18 school just outside Bath, girls and boys. And we'll talk a little bit more about the school as we go along.
Indeed. And John?
Hello, yeah, my name's John, and I'm from Wells Cathedral School, not too far away from Stonor, actually, in the southwest of England. And yeah, it's really nice. We were here last year. Great to be back and to be part of the Beach Education Fair.
And this is the thing, as I was listening and looking through the information, this is a great time to be learning, And unfortunately, many times as a student, we feel the drudgery, this homework. We got to get up. And then our parents are telling us, well, these are the best years of your lives. You better enjoy them. And it's only when we become adults and parents ourselves that we go, yeah, long summers. They were glad to see the schools are appreciating that, ensuring the child gets that level of academic sort of vigor, but appreciating that it goes beyond the classroom. And these are lifelong learning skills, but also friends. So, John, start with you. Teaching and the arts, in particular, way back when I was in school and the dinosaurs were outside grazing. The challenge I think we found, even in our homes, if there isn't sufficient budgetary sort of resources, the things get cut the quickest weren't math. They should have been, but no, just kidding. They were the other things, right? And now we're seeing they're becoming, as they should be, as equally important and respected and resourced.
Well, that's right, yeah. And I think that there's always been a bit of a fear. Well, we still get it from some parents, that, because we're a specialist music school, among many other things. But there can be a fear about, music, it's really hard to make a living. It's kind of very esoteric. And of course, there's a high failure rate. There are, for every Elton John making, millions, there are plenty of, starving artists, But I think what's really great about music is that it does a lot of things. First of all, it gives you that personal fulfillment. It's part of being community. And there's a lot of kind of research now that shows the sort of skills you gain from doing all the arts really help you out through your whole life. Communicating, getting on with people. It's beautiful to be part of a really international school where you can make friends from all around the world, and that's the nice thing. So it's kind of I think it's really nice that we're acknowledging that, studying the arts can be very rewarding in its own right, but can also give you great kind of skills that will last for your whole lifetime.
And who doesn't like a friend after, a few glasses being able to play the piano? but it's that's
hey ho.
Yeah, I mean, it really brings people together as well.
Indeed,
so, all of us who are here, listen, so many great schools, and it's been great that Beach have brought such a variety of schools, really interesting ones. But what we all have in common are these big international communities.
Indeed,
and often it can be the kind of music and the arts that bring people together as well, and help people feel, at home, because it's a big step, isn't it? Going thousands of miles from home, and then it can be singing together, it can be listening to music together, having a laugh together that can really help people settle in very quickly, and we love to see that.
It's another kind of team, isn't it? So much is all about team sports and that, but music is a team as well.
If music be the food of love,
exactly.
Yeah,
and that is the crucial part, because it's not just the fellowship it brings, but it's the dexterity. If you say playing the piano or trying to have accomplished over the many friends.
If you look at the 10 skills recently identified by the World Economic Forum as being
those
key
guys
for success in adult life and in careers, 6 or 7 of the 10 are emotional skills. They are soft skills, if you like. They're not necessarily specific knowledge. Of course, that can be and is important, but I think progress in the modern world requires a much wider set of skills than simply being able to do well in an academic subject. And what our schools all have in common are co-curricular programs that certainly give pupils the opportunity to really develop those skills, be it in music or rugby or, in our case, riding or whatever else it is that it might be going on. That what British boarding schools do have in common is generally very strong co-curricular programs that really speak to those skills, a very important part of our school life.
All right. Well, as we come back from the break, let's just go take a quick pause, but let's speak more, not just about the curriculum and expectations of parents, because I think many times as a parent, thankfully not so much now, but in the past, we wanted to see the grades, we wanted to know, well, why are you teaching? And there's this notion of a syllabus, but transcend more than just the academics or the classroom or the test. And have you advanced? Well, let's see. When we come back, we will invite you to join us. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the all-new Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much as we speak to the UK Education Fair taking place at the market. We'll remind you more, but it is for me an opportunity not just for a parent who may have children that are beyond those formative education years, but we have friends. But it's reflecting and recognizing the importance of education and the continuing efforts and how we can partner. As we were going into the break, Matt, I was going to ask you about your programming, and as John was sharing prior, tell us a little bit more, about Stoner. And you said riding, and for those who listen, did he say riding? No, not bicycles, but tricycles. Tell us about your question.
Yeah, we ride bikes too. Well, so one of the things that Stoner is well known for is it's a equestrian centre. We have a large equestrian centre, 62 stables, and half the students at the school ride. Someone was just asking me, actually, my colleague to my right was just asking me about, the therapy and whether it's like a equine therapy is part of it. Well, you are asking me.
Yeah, I was.
Ultimately, the fact that students are engaging with animals is in itself a therapy of its own sort. But yes, Stonor is well known for its equestrian centre, and I've just visited the equestrian centre here on the island, and met with the staff there. Half the children ride, half don't. We have strong areas in terms of creative arts as well. Something that is very important within the school. But we're a school just outside Bath. We're 2 to 18, about 440 students, and we have about 140 boarders. And we have some children from Cayman, which is great, and we enjoy having them here, which is why I'm visiting to meet their parents and hopefully to have a few more come our way.
Yeah, man. And it's beautiful because we see what travel in and of itself can do for a young person, but being able to experience education prior to those instructive years of university builds maturity, independence, resilience in the parents.
Yes.
Preparing him for when the child is. And to you, Miss Anna, share with us more about your school.
So we are very lucky in that we are 2 single-sex schools. We're in fact the only schools in the country that are so closely aligned. We are situated within a 5-minute walk of each other, and so we call ourselves co-educational establishments with a difference, in that our classrooms and our teaching is single-sex, but pretty much everything else is co-educational. So all our co-curricular activities, our music, our drama, much of our sport, football, tennis, squash, badminton, water polo, polo, etc., is all co-ed. So that's really firms up that relationship between the 2 schools, and it means that the boys and the girls who do learn differently are taught in a specialist way, but it would be very wrong to teach them single sex and have their whole lives in single sex education with no meaningful contact with boys and girls from the opposite school. So every Saturday night we have socials as well, and then this really strong co-educational program. So we're incredibly lucky. Our prep school is co-ed, and then they either go off to the girls' school or to the boys' school, and indeed to many other schools. They don't just come to our schools; they go all over. So we're very lucky.
And I appreciate you sharing that, because just earlier having a conversation specifically about the idea of putting boys in a class, some math class, for instance, or English, and then the female students separately. The instruction, the way the male brain and the female brain thinks and develops at that time. And this particular individual was very, very insistent, adamant that because he experienced that as a student, he thought that helped him to appreciate not just the learning and the dynamic, but later on. And then the one part that he missed, I think he was in school like 1,000 years ago. So
I think it's focus without distraction.
Yeah.
So they're able to focus, they're not distracted. I've worked in co-ed schools as well. For some, that's absolutely the right way. And there's, for them, it is better to learn that way. My own child went to a co-ed school. In hindsight, she should have gone to a convent, but, we're all different. And just because we work in schools doesn't necessarily mean we know the right for our own children. But, it's, for me, it works for our schools. It works really well together, but it works well together because of the close partnership that we have. And our location just facilitates that still further.
Amazing. And Matt, from that, you talk about having not just the equine facility, but the creative arts.
Yeah.
Expound on that for us. I mean, what are you offering?
All of our schools sort of will have areas where they feel that they're fortunate enough to have facilities and staff in particular, and often departments will become feature departments in schools because they happen to have some really inspirational staff in them, and then they'll expand the curriculum. So we do photography all the way through, including GCSE and A-level, as well as art. But also we've developed a fashion design and textiles course, which is a diploma in the sixth form for those who want to specialise in their sixth form A-level equivalent years in the creative arts. So you can do a fashion design and textiles diploma, for example, with photography, which works very well if that's going to be your route through into a creative, university course and career. So it's just one of those areas of school life that's really developed. Actually, this weekend in Bath, in the city of Bath, anybody listening who's going to be in Bath this weekend, maybe not many of you, but maybe some of you are going to go over to the UK this weekend. Then we have we've taken up a pop-up shop in the middle centre of Bath, where we're doing a big kind of exhibition of all the kids' work and so on and so forth. So it's one of those areas that's. And what's interesting, and I just wanted to comment briefly about, you talked about the resilience and independence and broadening children's horizons, and that's very true. Parents often say that boarding school really does support children's independence and become much more kind of their own people. Yeah. But also I think safety and security in those places is really, really important. And art and the creative arts is an area where children will only really express themselves and get outside their comfort zones if they feel safe and secure in their environment. Because what will emerge is stuff that you didn't realise was inside them. And they'll stick within their safety comfort zone, within their art, but that's almost like an expression of their whole being. Yeah. And then they start to express themselves through that medium. And I think that then helps them express themselves in a wider sense as young people. So it's a really, really important area. I think music is very similar. Yeah, indeed. I know Sherborne's music is very strong as well, and Wells is well known for it. So I think there's these creative arts, whatever they might be, performing arts, are really important for that expression of self, actually.
Yeah, self-development. And as you shared that pop-up that you're going to offer, here's the students getting a chance to exhibit there.
Yeah, to the public,
yeah. And to
real
feel
world.
that, to really, and to feel, we use the word critique as if it's a critical work, but it's important because we do that consciously, but it teaches you at some point, maybe you're defending your thesis, maybe you're in front of your budget committee and you need to ask for funding, maybe you're on the board or something, and this is that initial training that helps.
And I think something that we do, and I'm sure everyone else is doing, is encouraging the pupils not only to learn from the teachers, but to learn from each other, to coach each other, to have that sense of support and critical friends to help each other develop too. Yeah.
Indeed. The music program, without a question, is important. And for many of us, we see music as either that thing that we do in the fun. There are many, and thankfully in the small community, what we see being magnified. They have that ability. But talk to us to the music program, John at Wells. Do you focus specifically on some areas? Give our parents a bit preview of some of your areas.
Well, we're completely unique at school in the whole world in that we're a specialist music school inside a so-called normal school. So we do all the academic subjects, lots of sport, really big, but then some of our students choose to really specialise in music. And what's really great is that they can then be at school and get the best of both worlds and keep their options open. So they can get amazing tuition, they can do all kinds of amazing music. We do 250 concerts a year, we've got 80 music stuff and so on, but they're also doing the other things too. And what's great is, like as I was saying, it's not just in a sort of abstract way of developing your music. It's very much involved in getting careers as well. So we have a big music tech. It's people who want to write music for computer games. That's the really big area at the moment. So we're very fortunate in that we have a former composer who went to Hollywood, made his millions, has come back, bought a house next to the school, and now teaches some of our own students to follow in his footsteps. And we're saying, and so a lot of people who are forming their own bands, they're doing things. But we're saying that two of our students who are from Cayman came to the school, met each other, and have formed a band at our school. And so they're playing, they're singing and playing together. And it's just whatever the kind of area of music is, we'll support it with really high level tuition, great facilities like we've all got, and help people on their way, and they'll either decide to go into music for profession or just for fun. And either that is great.
It's so diverse, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just, I think a lot of times you think of when you go to school, music is classical and that's it. We have everything from our director of music is also the director of Sherborne Abbey. So music, choral music, church music, classical music. But two of our alumni are also members of Coldplay. And we've got a boy with us at the moment who is the next Chris Martin, and that is the kind of thing that our schools offer. It's that diversity of music, of sport, of abilities, of opportunities. And parents have choice.
And something that you emphasize in that I'm hoping that more and more of us, I know younger parents are appreciative that we're merging all of the instruction. There was a time not long ago where a child liked music or sports. It almost appeared that I had to come at the cost.
One or the other.
No longer, and it should not be. We can still get it. Right,
I mean, you can have a straight A grade student who is captain of the first 15 rugby and a grade 8 musician.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly possible within our schools.
Yeah, we had a classmate, amazing fella. I mean, you can see it now in his adult life as a university professor. Academics, top notch. Music, just gifted. His football skills, almost good as mine. But no, he was he was amazing. And here's a student that, thankfully, because of the environment, excel. But maybe because of the relative size of our environment, had he been elsewhere, who knows? What I would take.
But what's alongside that, and achievement that we've just been talking about, and co-occurring achievement, is fantastic. But alongside that, what we want to try and ensure is that these young people become young adults who are good brothers, good sisters, good wives, good husbands, good bosses, good employees, and interact with the people around them in a positive manner, and with a sense of responsibility and service and all of those things, and alongside those achievements has to be that, because if you don't have that emotional intelligence, if you like, then their development as adults will be limited.
Indeed,
despite their talent.
Yes, we talk about that a lot. About think about schools as leading to university, and that's fine. We talk about being at the age of 25, being great global citizens.
That's it. What we are as citizens, our brothers, keep on our contributions. So we'll take the final break. When we come back, maybe share more. Tell us about your campus. Tell us, we're going to ask some things, but we want to share, because education to me is, it's ongoing. It's a lifelong pursuit, and it should be fun and engaging, and then you share your knowledge. And to be a student, I've always wanted to be. Please rejoin us right after the break.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
They say variety is the spice of life, and that's why at Subway, we're introducing the new Boneless Hot Sub. Say what? The premium sub brings new ingredients like spicy breaded boneless chicken, French's crispy fried onions, and buffalo wing sauce, bringing a zesty and flavorful experience with every bite. Add some of your favorite veggies, cheese, and ranch sauce of your choice of freshly baked bread for the ultimate boneless hot sub. For a little spice in your life, try the new boneless hot sub from Subway.
So good and tasty.
And make it a meal with a drink and chips or cookies. Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Brandsour's Home Gallery 54th birthday celebration with store-wide savings. Save on appliances, faucets, tubs, toilets, shower doors, vanities, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, and more. Starting Monday, November 6th, save 30%. Monday, November 13th, the savings will drop to 20%. And Monday, November 20th, they will drop to 10%. It pays to shop early and save more. Brandsour's Home Gallery 54th birthday celebration savings on now through November 25th. Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for more details.
Are you looking for a rewarding way to make a difference in your community while gaining skills in strategy and leadership? The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan is seeking volunteers to join their Board of Trustees. Representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands' economy, volunteer trustees are vital to providing quality pension services and play an important role in protecting member benefits. If you would like to become a volunteer trustee or request further information, visit chamberpension.ky, email admin@pensions.ky, or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. And if I might say to these three fine, wonderful individuals for joining us, and hoping that, for me, I recognize that education is a passion, and I thank my parents, or our mother in particular, for instilling that love for learning. She's approaching, shy of 100 years. She probably has never and probably never used, be a lifelong learner, multiple intelligence in the words of today. But by example, she demonstrated that she would point to her, take her index finger and point to her forehead and say, once you have it up here, nobody can take it from you. That love for learning. So, Miss Anne, at Sherburne, whether it's the individual instruction of the male brain and the female brain in the formal classroom setting, and they coming together, that's life, right? We sometimes move independently.
Absolutely, and I think it's critical that all of our children are taught and leave school as independent souls, who are able to go out and forge their own pathway in life. They're resilient. They have, as my colleagues have said, emotional intelligence, that they are able to support their peers around the world. And let's be honest, this is a global society that we're in now. When you go to work, you're going to be in a global environment, and they need to be ready for that. So it's critical that we support them and nurture them on their way and allow them to find their own individual paths, but that they understand the difference between right and wrong, a sense of community, that they're aware that when they come to schools such as ours, it's a massive opportunity for them. They shouldn't be embarrassed about it, but they should be grateful for it and use it as an opportunity to do more in the big wide world.
Yeah, I think, Matt, it develops a sense of not just awareness and consciousness, but respect for others and appreciation and recognition that, as I shared often and earlier just to the break, we are more alike than we are different. And here's this person from somewhere that we probably didn't even know about. And they become our best friends and lifelong friends.
One of our school values is being kind, which is something that we would all subscribe to. One of them is also to shape the world. Now that's quite a challenge if you think about it. And I think that young people sometimes will look at the challenges of the world and be daunted by them and feel that they can't make a difference. one of our jobs, I think, is to break that down.
Mm.
I often say you can shape the world by shaping the world of the person next to you, by ensuring they're okay, being kind to somebody who is lost or new or slightly struggling in some way. And the real change over time in the world is just the accumulation of lots of small acts by lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
And when all of those small acts accumulate to the point where most people are doing them, then things change.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important for us to try and break those big challenges down into manageable chunks, because young people can think they can't make a difference. So one of those things that we talk about a lot is making a difference to the people around you to start with, and then go from there.
Well, I think that is a wonderful aspect, shaping the world, because I think oftentimes we see how easy the negative that thing can impact people, and the positive, we ignore it. We don't believe it makes any meaningful difference. But also, I think that the young person sometimes has that notion that they can be this thing. They're full with all of this energy and enthusiasm. They haven't as yet got to that space where we told them they can. Right, John?
Well, that's right, and I think that exactly as you're just saying now, it's what we do at schools is try and put the sort of scaffolding in place to help. So, for example, as the students are going through the school, they're gradually getting a bit more independence, they're gradually taking more responsibility. We have student councils, we have a lot of positions at all of our schools where they take responsibility for certain areas of the school, and that can be anything from the sort of charity work that we do, there are areas of sport, or the way in which we interact, and then gradually, so hopefully by the time that everyone leaves that school, they have they've taken responsibility, they've got that sort of confidence, they know that we're always there to support them, so they can't, and we sometimes talk about failing as well, and that can be a terrible thing. We say, oh no, you can't say as a school that people fail there, but actually that's how we learn. But if we help people to sort of fail, make mistakes, but we can learn that way and be responsible, always there to support, then that's an interesting.
Yeah, it's their approach. I mean, it's not so much as failing as this thing not succeeding as wonderful as it could in this time. They're nurtured.
So we're back to security and safety.
Yeah,
because ultimately, be it playing in front of people for the first time, your musical instrument, when you're just learning, making mistakes, making a mark on a piece of paper in art that is different to what you've done before, and where you feel comfortable, whatever it might be, being able to take a risk and fail is so essential to growth and learning. We know that, but creating the environment that young people feel able to do that is critical. And the point you make about the failure and is really well made.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is where that idea of the approach between the parent, at home, the school, and in the wider community.
I just we have a. I was funny because my body clock's still on UK time, so 4:30 a.m. I was sitting in the hotel foyer writing my newsletter piece for this week, finishing it off. One of the things what I'm talking about is managing our expectations around young people. There's a big difference between pressure and aspirational expectation.
Yes. Yeah.
It's okay for them to fail. It's okay for them to be strong in some areas and weak in other areas. And as parents and as staff, because by the way, sometimes we can pile on with a student who's doing GCSEs, who's got 10 subject teachers, all of whom are going, I need you to work hard for me. Well, they're all saying the same thing. So collectively, we've got to make sure that we find the sweet spot of ensuring that the children are aspirational and we're expecting great things of them, but not putting pressure on them. And there is a sweet spot to find, and there's no guidebook as to how to find that for each individual pupil, by the way, for a parent or the teachers. But partnership and working together on that is absolutely essential.
And I think oftentimes we only see that in hindsight. We push them just enough, or we didn't push them enough, or pushed them too much.
Yeah. Well, we learned that as parents.
But overall, the most important thing is the child is happy.
Yeah.
If you've got a child who's happy and they're enjoying themselves at school, they're going to be able to feel confident to make mistakes.
Yeah.
They're going to learn. They're going to develop. And that, I think, as long as you are happy at school, it's one of the most important things to enable you to flourish.
That's why our head says on the first day, he says, I want all of you to be happy and successful, but in that order.
Yeah.
And that's what one leads to the other.
There was a study, American actually study, about 70,000 students, and they followed them from teenagehood into adult life, and looked at the different factors for success as they moved into adult life. And overwhelmingly, the most important factor in the success, those who were successful as adults, was strong emotional well-being and happiness as a teenager.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the ball game.
Yeah.
As you said, is it Confucius that we said, ascribed to, who said, if you find something you like it, you never work a day in your life? What's the effect?
Yes, that's right.
It is true. You know,
exactly.
I think that you enjoy, you bring passion to it. It gives you contentment, happiness, and
it makes you the kind of person that others want to be around. You know, you can be successful and make all the money in the world that you want to do, but if you're not a nice, kind, happy person, nobody's going to want to be your friend or marry you or whatever. I mean, our head says this all the time, and sort of says to the boys, that's what actually is the most important thing in life.
And that happiness is something that shines so brightly, you know, within, that it really is so easy without. And providing that safe, nurturing environment puts the families at ease, but gives the child, at the end of the day, you know, it's our priority, that level of success. So I'm excited. I wish I could apply. Schooling to me has always been fun, but it was those classes that you were happy in, that you enjoyed.
Yeah.
There were much more.
And because you enjoyed them, you did better in them.
Yeah, and you learned more, and the grade was important, but only limited because the knowledge that you have acquired. So as we close out the discussion, props to you, Miss Anne. Any final thoughts you may want to share with our listeners about your school? Your choice.
Well, obviously, I'm going to say it's the best one in the country. Of course, I am. Or the best three. That's what I'm here for. You know, but no, honestly, there are so many brilliant schools in the UK. There are 12 of us here at the moment. We'd love to see you at Marriott today between 3:30 and 7. I think last registrations are at 6 o'clock because there's quite a lot of us there. And we just welcome you all to come along and have a conversation. Who knows? It could be the start of something really special.
That's it. I mean, we're not there to do the hard sell. If you're
Absolutely
not sure,
not.
if you just want to pick some our brains, come and have a nice evening, come and have a chat. We're not there to say...
And a glass of wine from 6 o'clock as well.
Thanks for buying.
But no, come along and just find out and see whether it's a path that maybe you wish to take in the future.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I'm a history teacher, so I'm going to finish with a history thought, which is Nelson, when he was inspecting a ship, commented to the captain that he saw lots of shining metal and polished wood, but few shining faces. And, you know, come and visit our schools and find a school that your child's face is going to shine.
Yeah, it's all in the eyes. But thank you each. Thank you very much for coming along and enjoy it. Yeah. And as parents, you know, we continue that partnership to give our children the very best.
Thanks for the opportunity.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Well, it was my honor. And to our listeners, when we come back, I think their schedule says one thing, my heart says another. You want to find out what it's going to be? Well, join me. Stay tuned.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service is monitoring the developments of a tropical disturbance over the Western Caribbean. The National Hurricane Center has marked the area of having a 60% chance of cyclone formation between 2 to 7 days. Based on the latest forecast information, the system is projected to drift northeast and move near the Turks and Caicos Islands, taking the system further away from the Cayman area over the next few days. Regardless of development of the system, the expected impacts on the Cayman Islands are forecasted to be limited to isolated showers with some thunderstorms over the next 24 hours. In international news, Las Vegas police are searching for 2 more suspects after 17-year-old high school student Jonathan Lewis Jr. was beaten to death. The teen was caught in a fight in an alleyway near his school, where as many as 10 of his classmates swarmed him. 8 other suspects aged between 13 and 17 have been arrested and face murder charges. The dispute was over a set of headphones and a vape stolen from the victim or his friends. A dog who was found alive beside her owner's dead body 10 weeks after they went missing in the Colorado mountains survived by hunting small animals, rescuers said. 71-year-old Rich Moore with his Jack Russell Terrier Finney had set out to climb Blackhead Peak on August 19th but never returned home. Mr. Moore's body was found on October 30th with Finney by his side. Rescuers said it was a magnificent story of survival. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA's Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
Radio K-Man is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born September 25, 1947, at Watering Place, Cayman Brac, Royce Adolphus Dilbert was the firstborn son to Helen and Grace Dilbert, née Tibbetts. As a young boy, he attended Weston Primary School, then later Gainstead High School in Jamaica, when the family moved there to be closer to his dad, who was chief engineer on Cockernel ships. During school breaks, he would work at Hannah's haberdashery store as a wrapper. Wanting to be a seaman and engineer like his dad, shortly after his 16th birthday, Royce would join his dad on the Cockernel ship, the Kirk Pride, as a messman, later working on other Cockernel ships. For Bawden Shipping on the Merkel, National Boat Carriers, West Indian Towing Company, and West Indian Lines. Mr. Dilbert would enroll at National Technical School, and at age 25, he achieved his chief engineer license. By this time, Royce had worked his way up the ranks from BR messman to wiper oiler, fireman, second and first engineer to chief engineer.
Radio K-Man is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks too for allowing us to have a start early and focusing on education. It was a paid segment, able to facilitated by that fantastic sales team that we have. So if you want to get your message out, whether it's a commercials airing in one of our programs or on any way we can help you to reach the audience, contact either Anita, Kathy, and Ray in our sales team, and you will find that you have the widest reach, the greatest value for money by advertising on Radio K-Man. I don't say that without any, fear of being contradicted, because that's just it is. We have the widest reach, and we are, competent, diligent, and professional. So thanks to our sales for doing the fantastic job that they do. It's going to be open line now. Between now and 2 p.m., 2 o'clock, our friends from the credit union should come in and join us and tell us about their upcoming AGM. But a lot has been happening recently. And now that the UPM, the United People's Movement, you may recall some time ago, and I said it and I thought myself, wow, I wonder if that was a political statement that was perhaps improper, from a public servant. But it wasn't said with anything other than a consciousness. And I said, if I had some sort of grouping, I would call it the United People's Congress, because that word unity and being united was just resonating in my spirit for all those years. Now, the reiteration, a couple of friends had shared, will this new government be called, from PAC to repack? It's just an attempt at many having a little bit of lighthearted fun at the political landscape. But now they're the UPM, the United People's Movement, and maybe that unity and that unitedness will transcend the country and bring us together. I'll invite you to share your thoughts on the political landscape, on elections, campaigning, eligibility of voters, or those who are able to stand for elections and should, and perhaps speak to the wider issues of our Constitution, or knowledge or lack thereof of our Constitution, of changes or of things that we perceive. Not knowing isn't a bad thing. Knowing and wanting to know more isn't a bad thing. Knowing and sharing is even better. And better than that, knowing and doing the right thing. So share with us. Now, I'm told that our options for our phone lines are, easy to remember, 949-6990. Right, Mr. P? 949-6990. Barring that, call us on our WhatsApp. Ready for the number? 925-3261. That's a WhatsApp call. If you want to get on air using WhatsApp, you have to dial that using the app, or you can dial the 949-6990, and we'll answer that call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Hey there, Mr. Sterling. How are you today?
Excellent. How about yourself?
Man, maybe I should say fantabulous.
You should, man. You should. Yeah, fantastico, huh?
Fantastico. And, I admire politicians,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like the Reagans and the Arnold Schwarzeneggers and you know how it is, the mix. They sometimes have great abilities and talents and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to like politics really very, 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 very much. I mean that's part of where I'm coming from too. My great grandfather was into politics and pageantry and different stuff like that. Vespre and my grandfather was a politician. But I admire. I decided that I would have a strong love also for. I did drama in school. I did music, and acting. I wanted to be one of those Caymans who would go off to United States or England and to be an actor, singer, calling people like Beyonce, and because a model and an actress invited me to New York, but I haven't gone yet so far. But I decided that what I would do is try to learn a lot of different accents, languages, in order to be, say, for example, you got an actor, Caymanian actor who can speak Spanish or speak like a Jamaican in a movie or something like that. It's pretty good, You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm,
And then in another movie you got the Caymanian actor who's speaking Caymanian and putting stories together, because I did a bit of writing and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see because I haven't forgotten about people like Miss Salida Ebanks, boy, she's really a great inspiration. Miss Grace, she was great.
Yeah.
Healer, no buyers.
Yeah.
You know, they're Mr. Frankie, you know, good old Caymanians that, you know, that really inspire you to bring out your best, you know. Can't forget about the Harkwell, CNCF, you know, being groomed and directed by artistic director Mr. Henry Muto and Miss Marcia and all those. But what happened to Quincy though? You know, he's quite skillful. You know, he can speak. He can speak like almost anyone in a language, man.
Yeah. It's interesting that you ask about, you know, not just the arts scene as it were, but I was looking at something else as you were chatting, and certainly understanding that we don't multitask as well as we think we can, but I'm paying attention to you as I, you know, make that secondary, and I will reference that in a second. But I wonder, in what you're sharing, are we in a community, when it comes to Caymanians in particular, are we looking at them and expecting, helping them to achieve, you know, not just all that they can, but to recognize that they can? You referenced Salida, for instance, and Grace, two, you know, contemporary examples, but we have many way back when. Then we look, as you shared, at Quincy, his ability to take on different personas and characters, and like, just incredible. I remember the first time at Harkwell, we invited him to do something for us, and he's on stage next to a noted Caribbean celebrated veteran in Paul Keynes Douglas, and here's this young teenager holding his own, you know.
Oh yeah.
But I say that to say that whether it's performing arts, whether it's, you know, an accomplished or aspiring musician or football player in particular, have we done enough to make sure that they achieve, you know, or at least have access to that level of, you know, potential achieving as great as they can? And when we look back to history and some of the people who today, had we invested more in them, not just with money, but with support, physical, financial support, would they have been, you know, perhaps better examples for the wider community, so that when we look, we can see our own on stage or on the field, and not just others, as much as that would inspire.
Right. You know, you had a lot of, there's a lot of great, very skillful, I call them great Caymanians, that, you know, like football and you know, remember Cream Street, Sedona Montecil, a lot of skillful, you know, Lee Ramon, a lot of very talented, you know, guys from West, you know, some real serious footballers, you know, and boy, I tell you, just the opportunities, man, you know, and it kind of, I like to see, if I can't do it, I want to see them do it.
Well, that's what I like about what you've been sharing. There's without question a passion of yours, right? And as you talk to it, maybe as a people, we'll see that we have, if I may be allowed to say it this way, we have failed many in our society, and I question, are we failing to even acknowledge that we've failed, and to ask the question, what more and differently can we do that helps them? So you call in and you're sharing, and your constant championing for the arts should be instructive. It should be, you know, a very, very sobering reminder of what we are and what we haven't done and what we could and should be doing.
Right. And I think maybe I could be correct, or it would lift the profile, or you know, put Cayman on a strong a stronger foundation when it concerns business, economy, and Yeah, you know, you hear about say for example, you got the good old Cayman and the People magazine or one of those magazines and all, different magazines. Yeah. I mean, of course, it happens,
Yeah, but as I listen to you, right, and I won't want to take too much more of your time, but you remind me to maybe ask. Let's look at two individuals, and there are many. Let's take Badir Awi, Awesome Productions, right, and the increasingly body of work that he does, not just on an island with visiting, I guess, crews and the like that come in the productions. But take Philip Richter, for instance. We've had him in the studio a number of times. And not only has he photographed our own people, all right, and photographed them here, showcasing much of our, built landscape and a natural landscape, but they've been on the front page and very prominently displayed in international magazines. And I say that to ask, to what extent and at what point are we going to recognize that we are not valuing, celebrating, and crediting our own people? Take the word Cayman, for instance. I recognize that some must work in areas where we believe, perhaps because we were told by teachers or colleagues that we have to say the word in a different way. I make no apology. If the word is Cayman, right, I can say it Cayman, right? You may help me with enunciation, elocution. You may help me in many ways. But we are willing to accept other people who, when they're talking, presumably English, we have no clue what they say, and we celebrate that. But our own people, with our own diction, dialect, and colloquialisms, we're ready to discredit. Man, I have a word for them, but you know what I mean?
But we got options, We got options. Because we're Caymanans are mixed people, We mix with a lot of people, and we people see the value in us, And
but do we see the value in ourselves, Q? Do we see the value in ourselves? You know what I mean?
I think good things will happen, though. I see a bright future here in
Indeed,
Cayman,
my friend, indeed. Well, with that, I appreciate you sharing that. But let's leave it on that. Good things are happening. You see a bright future. I share you, and we're going to make it happen. All right?
All right.
All right, my friend. Take care, man. All right. All the best. Be well, be safe, and be happy. All right. It is open line. We've got two lines, I'm told. 949-6990. And the WhatsApp line, 925-3261. 925-3261. I'm going to write it down again so I don't tell you other numbers. If you call WhatsApp and you want to get on air, you got to dial it using the WhatsApp app. Is that how you say that, Paul? You can message it, you can do a voice note, and we'll figure it out. We'll try to pay attention to it. We will get it fixed, man. We have the money, we have the resources, we just need to make sure we're doing it right, when, where, and how, and whatever. We'll get there. If I know the team here, they're so bashful almost. They don't like to be publicly acknowledged, but they do a fantastic job. So thank them. You guys don't know the great work they do because thankfully, I can only see the good things that happen. All right, let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Not bad.
Not bad, I'm telling you, man. Jeez.
Listen, you and that last caller.
Yes, Mom.
Prompted me to call.
Thank you.
About let's put it this way, the little recognition that our people get in the performing arts.
Mm-hmm.
And not because she's my sister. Reba.
I was thinking about her.
Reba has taken Cayman internationally with her costumes and her artistic work, even beyond the Department of Tourism.
Right.
And just give you an example. In that aid design competition that she won recently, because of the distance and whatnot, and it's expensive to send the stuff there, she only entered 3 pieces. That her work was so good, and it's recorded. If people would take time to read it, they would see it. They moved her from the category that she entered, and they put her in the performing arts. And as a result of that, all 3 of her pieces gained silver. Now, there has been a problem. She doesn't talk too much about it.
Right.
Where those trophies has to come to Cayman. But as far as if I got it wrong, well, somebody can clear it up. I guess the government is listening from the protocol office. There are certain trophies that has to come here to the Cayman Islands. How this aid design thing works, right? And she has not had the help to get her trophies here.
You see, this is where, just generally speaking, I think many times, and I want to, if I can find it while you're on air, share it, but I don't want to paraphrase it. I think of that. Speaking to the same thing and speaking specifically about Ms. Reba. But this is where I'm reminded that there are times when a country, for want of a better word, needs to be the recipient or needs to be the champion for this thing in order for its citizens to benefit because of protocols and the like. And some of us don't know, some of us don't subscribe to them because we don't know. But is it that we don't see the value in it? Is it the level of disrespect we have for our own? I'm just wondering, and not speaking to her issue specifically, just looking at some of the things that we allow to just happen. I mean, I'm just curious.
I really don't know what the problem is, but I think it is how the country developed with the educational system too. Because when Reba started this thing, people thought she was crazy. I could tell you that as
she would take that herself.
Anyway, with this, just kind of emphasizing on this aid design international thing. Cayman was the only country that succeeded in getting into that. The other countries, they didn't. Even Trinidad, who's famous for their costumes, etc., etc., they weren't even selected. Cayman got selected, and she practically done it on her own.
But I wonder, right? And I feel sometimes it's not just that we're so busy, or that we don't pay sufficient attention, or we don't remember it, or we don't ascribe the level of importance to it. Maybe we're just a little too casual. Just as an example, take for instance, someone says something nice about you. We don't, usually say, "Oh, thanks," thanks for the compliment. We'll respond and we stop talking foolishness and downplay it, right? And I wonder that personal sort of mindset that we have. That's part of why the many accomplishments of our people, the great historical achievements, over the generations, we're not celebrating, promoting, and for some reason we've allowed to be either displaced or somehow marginalized, or even, just relegated to somewhere where in short order we can't even access it. Think of Mr. Loxley's, for instance, constant reminder, thankfully he does that, of the endeavors aren't even the right work, the heroic efforts of some of our people during World War II in conjunction with either the US or the UK military, or some of the other things even going back further. Ray Banker, for instance, in his research for that program that we had, hopefully we'll be able to get approval to restart it, discovers that the breadfruit, is in our harbor 10 years earlier than the recorded, published history, right? That Blythe...
But they pay somebody to make mistakes in what they have written.
Yeah, and then we say things that it might have been, it could have been, but in a way that downplays, disparages, and somehow, discourages the celebration of our accomplishments, right? And here's a guy who's speaking, as his ships are being repaired so he can join the flotilla to go back, to fight France. He's in Hawkseye Bay. His boats are being careened in the Sound. They're being repaired, and he's talking to, our chief administrator, Custos, or whatever the head guy is called at the time. And he's saying, "Man, if it wasn't for you guys, no way, this would happen. And I can't believe the resources and the talent that you have here, right?" Other places make a big deal out of little, and we have a lot, and we, tossed it to the side, right?
Yeah, I can tell you how important it is. Like I said, I hasn't followed up with everything, but I know this much from what I have seen. when you enter a competition like this aid design, it's a very heavy competition. If you look at the entries and whatnot, thousands and thousands of people that enter it.
Right.
Who, when you win, how it's set up, your government, as a result of that, it's done internationally, supposed to give you, I wouldn't say a salary, but some kind of stipend.
Yeah. Well, I think partly it's, maybe say it this way, let's start with us who are part of something, perhaps ineffectively, perhaps not sufficiently communicating and conveying the expectations, the rules, the protocols, and the participation. And then on the receiving end, perhaps the official entities, whether it's government or sponsoring entity, perhaps aren't giving the information in a way, aren't receptive to it, and we're not having sufficient dialogue and communication to appreciate what it is. And that could be because we're still relatively new. We still don't know about a lot of things, and the little that we do, we don't know enough about the things we know about. And you referenced,
but you got to make the effort to dig into it, to gain the knowledge, experience, etc., etc.
Yeah,
that is the thing that we don't know, because we have conversation, we be in a group. Darlene says something is important. Somebody said to you, boy, what are you talking about? 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, when it hits the fan, the person will come back and say to you, Darlene, what you were saying? They didn't pay no attention to you then when they hear it otherwise.
Yep.
And then they get all excited about it. But I'm sorry that I got to leave you
No.
because I'm on a break.
All right. Well, listen, thank you for we know your time is invaluable. Thank you too for looking at the other thing. I'll check you about it because I need to advance that as well. Not what I want, but I think I need. But thank you very much, all right?
Yeah, call me
yes, ma'am.
after the show because
I
did do a reminder.
Yeah, I do. I thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Good. Bye-bye.
We're going to pause, but here's how we can talk in code publicly and share information. Not unlike, we hear what happens when governments want to sponsor certain legislation that allows them certain powers, but the powers rest in the people who ensure that they always remember that democracy means the champion of civil liberties. Now it's going to be at least another half an hour of some open line consciously. Our guests were unavailable, and we are happy to be able to facilitate if you wish to speak to anything. 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp call or message or voice note 925-3261. Please stay tuned for Talk Today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles until December 31st, 2023. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Here's a CUC storm tip. Ensure your battery packs and electronic devices are always charged prior to a storm approaching. Keeping your kids entertained during a storm is one thing less you need to worry about. With CUC, you've got the power.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
I love Pizza Boat. It's yummy. It has my two favorite things combined, cheese and boats. Pizza Boat makes pizza way more fun.
Hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Kids, now Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. Lunch or dinner, let Pizza Boat bring the fun. Pizza Boat, a Cayman twist to pizza, bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky.
It's time for Vigoros' annual customer appreciation and seasonal celebration. Join Vigoro Sunday, November 19th from noon to 3:30 p.m. on Agricola Drive. Save 10% on early bird Christmas shopping with Vigoro's best selection of home accessories, stunning ceramics, furniture, and more. Everybody's welcome, with fun the whole family will enjoy. Don't miss Vigoro's customer appreciation and seasonal celebration. Visit us on Facebook and Instagram for details.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sharing with us. And we want you, if you have time, if you feel inclined, certainly the invitation is open. Give us a call, 949-6990. Don't draw from memory. Look at what I wrote down, 949-6990, 949-6990. That's the hardline for now that you have to call. Or you can WhatsApp call, 925-3261. Quickly doing a break, one call and one message. And the two individuals want to compliment and congratulate the government and says even with the changes shows that we can work together and the stability. Well, let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
You looking company or?
Hey, they say misery loves company, but I also find that good company wants better company and good company brings much joy. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. So everybody's back at normal in that day.
Are they? Are they?
Are they?
Yeah. I'll share what one of the two calls during the break relayed, but only if you want me to share while you're talking. I can do it after. But I don't want to get into your, disrupt.
Well, I just thought to message you.
I always enjoy listening to you.
I'm going to say this, and it's, I'm not going to use the word, but I'm not here to offend anyone. But it would have been a real nice ringing to know that Andre was the premier. Andre Ebanks. Yeah, it would have been nice if he was the premier. But I think he is. I'm not going to go into detail. I'll leave it at that. Everybody knows Andre, who he stands for and how he carries himself and how he does his conversations and so forth, So, like I told you all on the radio one time, it would be nice if you become the premier one day. So hopefully you will. Hopefully you will. We just leave all that. So They're little small-minded people because the mentality that we got in this island here it is just destroying us mentally, physically, in every capacity. But we just have to take one at a time and go to flow and what we can't fix and what we can't change. We just need to pray about it because if you were to sit down and pick up on everything that has happened in this island, you'll say you plump crazy.
Well,
I have a heart attack before time too.
We work together.
We work together. But, so no guests today?
2 o'clock. We have friends from the credit union coming on, and they're going to be discussing the upcoming AGM. I think it's. I'll look at my notes. I'll put on my glasses so I can read what I wrote, but I think that's what it was.
Okay, leave it alone.
Yep. All right.
And, there's a lot of people driving around, especially just this weekend down here in the Newlands area. If you're in your yard working, you know the reference. So everybody's looking for somebody to live here in this island. And so I just hope that we can do some sort of cleaning up with immigration and when cut back on these work permits and people who's getting a work permit, they need to be able to show up a decent accommodation that where they live in and they are living there and so forth, you understand, because we got a lot of people here in this island that don't even have nowhere to stay and they're on a work permit. Like this morning down Eastern Avenue at 7 o'clock, I said, look at this thing. About 3 dozen people scattered about through Eastern Avenue. I said, now, years ago gone by, immigration will come down here and check your ID and see what the status is to be hanging out here on our corners.
Yeah.
I am not saying no, we can't hang out, don't get me wrong, but I really think that our streets need cleaning up, really and truly.
You're speaking to an issue that needs addressing for sure, and many levels. So
many levels.
Yes, well.
And I hope that we'll get some change.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see.
And how you're going to see you get another call.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. As I listen to many of the callers, and if the lady would not mind, her views as you listen and unpack what is being shared, just speaking to continued safety and stability of the society and issues that need to be addressed. Are we turning a blind eye? If so, are we going to continue to turn a blind eye to much? Do we expect things to happen? Well, 9496990. We'll answer the calls if you place it. I want to do before try to share what that caller, one of the two callers just in the break shared. But let's take this one. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Mr. Sterling.
Yes, sir.
There's something I wanted to say also. Actually, I wanted to shout out give a shout out to a gentleman from CNN and a lady, Mr. David Phillips and Miss Ariel Wallman for the interview that I got at the Smith Cove Beach. I had my game there, and they did an interview with me. And as he said, Mr. David said to me, I bet you don't know who you'll be meeting someday. And he said, I'm going to make you a superstar. and he had, so I guess it's in the archives, it's the Caribbean News Network, CNN. That was from back in 2011. I was working there also with two gentlemen, two Caymanians. And actually, he had me, but when I looked again and checked now on the internet, he had me, I was right beside Rihanna. So I mean, Rihanna got, I think, billions of followers. So he had in the interview, in the story, go and visit the beach for yourself and play the game with Mr. Brown. The name of my game was Gambinotti.
Mm-hmm.
And I branded it Caymanian game, which was also sort of featured in the Compass Cayman Net News, and I don't remember which other media, but have done some good things for us. And just being nice to the gentleman. I met him on the beach, and he was sending tourists. I don't think. Yeah, like I said, I rather said it to play the game with me. The beach and the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, man.
And so I want to give a special shout out. I don't know what's happening now with that media. That was the Caribbean News Network, Mr. David Phillips and Miss Ariel Wallman, who interviewed me because we took pictures but I'm so sorry to say I don't have the evidence. Now I lost it. I gave a copy to the government. Our government trying to get. Well, I don't think I should say too much, but I don't know. Well, I guess he made him a superstar. Right beside somebody who got billions of followers and that sort of stuff, Rihanna. So I still love Rihanna, from way back, and Beyonce and all these other fine, good folks.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you sharing it, and stay in the faith. Certainly, continue to pursue your arts, and make sure you take care of yourself in every which way. All right.
Yeah, we can do it. We
can
make great things happen. We can do it.
We can do it, man. Got to be positive, optimistic. Got to be productive. Got to be pensive, but you got to be willing to work together as a people. So thanks very much, man.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
Good.
Okay.
And as we look at where we are, one of the two callers during the last commercial break quickly shared. One said, commend the parliamentarians. They understand the political landscape and the games that are being played, and I want to commend them for coming along. And hopefully, the united isn't just a name and this thing. Now that resonates with me, and many friends you recall have shared, and hopefully, respectfully, as it was my intent. That word unity was just bearing on me. The second of the two callers asked the question: given the parliamentary system with the two-party system and the opposition and the like, and the person said, not being a great student of politics, but questions: is this new outcome now a sound rejection of not just party system, but more specifically the PPM party, in that if there was this discord, this level of division and lack of confidence or whatever was happening within the PAC government, is it that despite all of that, and whether it was any truth or whether it was exaggerated as the public was hearing it, but certainly as the debate unfolded and the ability to bring the motion and the discussion and the like, that despite that, they were willing to come up and agree to anything other than a PPM, led government. So is that, if I recall what the person shared, is that a sound rejection now of the PPM? Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne, and a belated welcome back.
And to you, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm just joining you, so I don't want to be off topic, but I know
no,
that...
man. It's open line. It's open line.
It's open line, yeah. And in any case, I want to talk about what you've just been commenting on. Well, first of all, the way I see this is that while these, I want to use a polite term, while these call them machinations, not something else. While these things are going on, Dwayne, Rome is burning. Okay.
While we have that circus and Rome is burning, no?
Well, yeah, exactly. You see, Rome is burning because here you are. There was a report recently saying that Caymanians are only 46%, but actually the truth is that 46% covers status holders. Otherwise, Caymanians indigenous are only about 28%, actually. Okay? Then the Court of Appeal has decided that some criminals can stay even if they are convicted, so long as they can claim a right to a family life under the Constitution and the European Convention. I've been involved with the beach access case for some time in my small way with some Caymanians to this very day, that issue has never been fixed. And I know it for a fact that the successive governments have not wanted to fix that. They've said we care about it, but they are more on the side of the developers. They want to make it easier for the developers to kick people off the land. In the portfolio of legal affairs, who are the people who write legislation in Cayman? Virtually all of them, except maybe one, are all from outside Cayman. In other countries, you can't write legislation unless you are a citizen of the country, because that's a very, very sensitive area of legislation, and you have to go through security clearance and all kinds of things. In Cayman, anybody can come to Cayman, write legislation, and there's been no special effort to say that let's get as many Caymanians as possible to help us write legislation. Judiciary, how many indigenous Caymanians do you have as judges? Okay. Again, this just shows that the turf is being lost to people who come out there. I wish that most of those people were like me, because when I came in, I identified with the Caymanian cause and tried to be part of the community in a positive way. But it was usually the status holders who said, "Oh, you can't do this for Caymanians; they'll become too wise." Now let's talk about the elections and what has happened, or rather the current situation. Now people have called for new elections. I think those questions are legitimate, although that would only be a band-aid. But I'm not saying that it would be bad to have a new election. But the reason the issue of a new election is arising is because people are saying, well, when we vote people in, what is the mandate we give them? And are they free after that to change political alliances and change the basis upon which we voted for them? There is a problem there. But I think the first thing to do is to recognize that the problem is multifaceted. There will not be one little thing or even several things you can change in the laws or the constitutions which will fix this. But there are certain things that can be brought into the discussion. One of them is, and a lot of people have said this, Dwayne, why do people in Cayman continue voting for the same people? We can go back to 20 years ago when I first came to Cayman. There are certain things which went wrong, status grants, and there's so many other things which went wrong. And people said, well, we don't want this to happen again. But you've been voting for the same people back again. I remember one time I was informally helping one candidate a few years ago, and he was very strong about this. He was saying that, but why are people complaining that things are not changing if they are voting for the same people? Now, another thing is the Westminster system. The Westminster system, to me, is very much overrated. What people seem to forget is that the Westminster system arose out of the monarchical system of government in the United Kingdom. That's where it arose out of. And then they had to sort of like tear down that system, try to make it more democratic from an aristocratic system to a democratic system. And that process is not yet finished yet. Okay? Right now, for example, why is the House of Commons called the House of Commons? It's because the aristocrats wanted to draw a distinction between the commoners who were looked at with contempt and the House of Lords. These are the people who were the aristocrats in the society. And that system, it grew in short out of an undemocratic system, which up to this day is not democratic. Rishi Sunak, I was happy that he got elected, that he got selected to be in that position. But he wasn't elected; he was selected. Okay, in fact, by default. And then he has now appointed David Cameron to be Minister of Foreign Affairs, a very important position. And Cameron has not been elected either to Parliament or to that position. And then he will join the House of Lords, which itself is not elected. And by the way, the House of Lords, initially you could not be a member of the House of Lords unless you were a member of the aristocracy by birth. It was the Labour government which came in and says, well, you can't have these people who are hereditary peers alone, because it means that if my father dies, he was Lord this, then the son or the grandson becomes Lord that. They introduced life peers. So these are people who are appointed in their own right, and when they die, somebody else is appointed. But the whole point of making this of pointing out this is that the British system is so imperfect. That's not the one that Cayman should be trying to copy. Right now, we've had since the last elections, how many premiers? It is now 2 premiers. Who elected them to become premiers? Nobody. Okay? They were elected by the people who themselves were elected. And so Cayman needs to start to look at the possibility of having a directly elected premier. That's one. The other thing that Cayman needs to examine is, in some other countries, they've passed, they've got a provision in the law, which in the constitution actually, which says that if you are elected under a party ticket, you cannot change allegiance to become independent or to go to another party without seeking a fresh mandate. If you are elected as an independent, you can't join a party, and in other words, you just can't change allegiances. You have to seek a fresh mandate. And people in Cayman have, I think, indicated that they don't want this system where people can change mandates. You remember when one MP, it was Sabrina Turner actually, because she alluded to what happened to her. She was going to change allegiance immediately after the election. The people went outside the house and camped. They said, we're not standing for this. We didn't elect for you to work with them. Do you see? But people shouldn't have to do that. The system should have a law which ensures that once you elect them, they cannot, on a certain basis, they cannot now abandon that basis and be left to their own devices without coming back to seek a fresh mandate. So this is where the problem is. It was very disappointing to listen to the speeches. Sir Alden was talking about, but you see, independence can never work. Only parties can work. Well, I don't think it's that simple either.
Right.
The man has to discuss it and say, do we need a party system, but a party system which has got some of these changes I've suggested.
Right. But let me then ask. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. I want to ask, because given that comment, and especially one of the 2 callers, as I referenced during the break, asked the question, if there were all of this discord and disagreement amongst the PAC government and the PPM, under the Westminster model, as the opposition, the government in waiting seizes on the constitutional opportunity to call for a vote of no confidence in order to change government. If there is all this going on within the existing government, at the end of the day, this person asks, is this a sound rejection, a damning condemnation, was his words, of the PPM, simply because they would rather choose anything other than them? Is his assessment, his pronouncements off?
Let me just try to understand that. That this is about the PPM and how they wanted to come into power?
Yeah, so the caller picked up on a comment that was shared prior, and he called during the break. He says, listen, the government of the day now is sort of rebranded. There's a reshuffle in cabinet, basically, which happens under the Westminster model. The UK had three prime ministers in short order, right? The fellow that was there, the lady that's there, and the guy that's there now, right? And they went through their iteration, no harm, no foul. We had something similar, in the UK we had this, cabinet reshuffle. This minister is either sacked or this one is reassigned and the like. No big deal, no instability. And his view was, here we have, as prescribed for, an opportunity for the opposition to get its hands on the reins. But despite all that is being said, they were able to come together, not just to secure power, but in their negotiation. His view is that they would rather have whatever they have, because anything is better than the PPM. So his conclusion is, this is just his words, if I may say. I said, a sound rejection. He used a damning condemnation of the PPM.
Well, yes, I think he's got a point, but like we would need to move the discussion to the significance of that point, because if you go to an election as the PPM did, and they went to election as a PPM, although at that one point they declared that they would run allied informally to other people, and they did, but they did run as a political party. But the people who won were the independents. So, in other words, they rejected the PPM as a party.
Well, yes.
Yeah. So,
and again, this last thing, right? And again, the vote of no confidence, right? Not just that the motion failed, but the subsequently to the motion failed, the negotiations that took place. The federalist contention was not only, as you shared, they were rejected at the last election, but they were never even soundly rejected by saying, we'll take anything other than you. I'm just wondering now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have now failed twice. In a sense, actually, they failed 3 times. Because you remember the other one, which they thought they had the votes and then they didn't have it. They've been rejected 3 times.
Right.
So the solution to the system is not to say the opposition should take over. This particular opposition been rejected 3 times. But then you see, you're between a rock and a hard place in the sense that nobody wants the opposition, but then the government which was elected is not working very well.
Right.
And there are problems. And when it reaches that point, that's when you say, well, is it the system? Now, I know some people have said something about the particular premier, Ms. Panton, that, some people have said, I mean, it's in the society that he is dictatorial, it's either his way or the highway. And there seems to be some credibility to that, because I don't see how you go to the House and you say, I don't support the motion on pepper spray, but all the other 18 members, including all the people on your side, supported the pepper spray. And then, what do you say? You say, but you see, there was no collective responsibility because this was in caucus. All that is just, it's technicalities. At the end of the day, you can't lead a group where you are ready to go public and say, I disagree with all of them. So it does give some credibility to those people who have said that he sometimes is operated dictatorially. But then there are other prime ministers in similar systems who have acted in a dictatorial way, but they have had comparatively more stability. So where does that lead us? It leads us into saying, yes, personalities can be a little bit of an issue. You say what you want about Sir Alden McLaughlin. I think he ran a very tight ship. There's a way I think I'm sorry I have to say this. I think he probably has a better ability to work as both a strong leader as well as a conciliatory leader. I think Mr. Panton probably leans more towards being a strong leader without being conciliatory. But those are personalities. But it means then you have to look at the system. How can the system cater to different kinds of personalities so that there can be some stability? But what I think really is that it was a shame to watch the debate. The debate was shaped by what they were already discussing. I think that the last people who were in the minds of all the debaters, I watched the debate, virtually all of it, the people were not, they were mentioned, but the people were not being thought of. This was just nothing but a power struggle, but we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah. If I might, you have the news break, if I may ask you for another time, right? You reference the call by many now in the public of an early election. And could we ask you at some point, and when we speak again, if it's okay with you, can the people, is there power in the electorate to call for an election? Does that rest only with the governor's office, or is that something the parliamentarians? How, my question is, an early election to be called, who has the authority? Is there provision for the people and the like? So maybe we could ask that of you for our next discussion.
Yeah, so next for the next session we can look at that. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Bye-bye.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon. We're going to pause, go to the news, and when we come back, our friends from the credit union are here. Are they coming bearing gifts? I think they might, You want to find out? Stay tuned.
Radio Cayman. The voice. The heart. The soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news. Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankins-Allens. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service is monitoring the developments of a tropical disturbance over the eastern Caribbean. Expected impacts on the Cayman Islands are forecasted to be limited to isolated showers with some thunderstorms over the next 24 hours. Potential rainfall accumulation of approximately 10 to 15 millimeters is expected for Grand Cayman and 20 to 30 millimeters for the sister islands. In international news, police and protesters clashed outside of the Democratic Party's national headquarters on Wednesday, forcing dozens of lawmakers to be evacuated. Officials said the pro-Palestinian organizers calling for a ceasefire in Gaza were gathered illegally and violently. Protesters said they were provoked by police in riot gear who rushed them without warning. 6 officers were treated for injuries and a protester was arrested. Rapper Travis Scott has broken his silence on the tragic deaths that occurred at his Astroworld Festival in 2021. 10 people died and hundreds of others were injured at the concert in Houston, Texas, after the crowd surged towards the stage. In his first interview about the tragedy, Scott said he was overly devastated by the loss of life. Thousands were injured at the concert on November 5, 2021, when panic broke out as the overcapacity crowd pressed towards the front of the stage during Scott's headline performance. 10 people, ranging in age from 9 to 27, were killed by compressive asphyxiation. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankins-Allens.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Cayman Islands, clear your calendars because something extraordinary is coming your way. Ignite the Fire, hosted by Christ for All Nations, is roaring into the Lions Center from November 29th to December 3rd. Join us for an epic worship and gospel event, a monumental move of God that will transform lives and reveal destinies. Don't miss this 5-night, once-in-a-generation experience. Be a part of history in the making. Ignite the Fire, Cayman. Mark your date. November 29th to December 3rd at 6:30 p.m. nightly, and get ready for an unforgettable spiritual journey that will set your heart ablaze. Cayman and you will never be the same again.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
It is that time of the year when we at Puritan Cleaners remind our customers of the services we offer on drapes and all household items. Standard prepaid discounts apply. Call us today at 949-7104, Georgetown and Savannah Countryside. Puritan Cleaners, you feel good when you look good.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, in partnership with Movember Cayman Islands, will be hosting a prostate and colon cancer awareness meeting at the Lions Community Center on Thursday, November 16th at 7 p.m. with guest speakers from HSA, Health City, and Doctors Hospital. Free PSA testing will be available. For more information on prostate and colon cancer awareness, be sure to attend the awareness meeting at the Lions Community Center on Thursday, November 16th at 7 p.m.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome and thank you very much for joining us. And as we close it this Thursday afternoon, what a wonderful week. It was scheduled, and we thought it was appropriate that everything is settled down, that we have this discussion. The credit union and all of our members are excited about the upcoming AGM. So draw near and heed what is being shared. Our marketing manager, Miss Nancy Whitaker, joins us. Welcome. How are you?
Good afternoon, Cayman.
And thank you for bringing on your colleague. And I will try to maybe at least once more reference it before the day is out. If I don't, you forgive me. But our manager for the new accounts, Miss Lisa Galbraith. Again, it's good to always have you guys in the studio. You bring not just an enthusiasm and industriousness, but a welcome and an invitation for many to join and to be a part of a good thing. I think a meal is only better when it's shared, right? So if you got a good thing, you share it. So Miss Lisa, how are you?
Good, thanks, Dwayne. And you?
I mean, look at me.
Around two beautiful ladies.
Thank you for saying that, man. Beautiful in spirit, beautiful in everything. And that's what, makes my job so much more rewarding. I get to learn each day. I get to be in the presence of good people, and that level of positivity helps me to go about the day and have that high energy. That's just good. So, our AGM is coming up.
Yes, we are super, super excited. Mm-hmm. So on the 29th of November, we will be holding our annual general meeting. So yes, members, it's that time of the year again. So our meeting will actually be held in two different forms this year. Mm-hmm. We'll be holding it in person for those members that actually want to come out and actually look at us and talk to us. And that will be held at the Sir Vassal Johnson Hall at UCCI. And then for all of our young members that are, too busy to come out to see us, but, still want to participate, we have something really cool, which I will ask Ms. Lisa to speak about for you guys, for our younger members as well.
Okay, so we're encouraging our younger members to join online. This year we gave them that option because that is high in demand. A lot of those younger individuals would like to attend that way rather than come out in person. So an email will be going out early next week, that they can register online to join us.
Right. So whether you're physical there or whether you're joining virtually, you'll be able to participate. You'll be able to know what's going on. You can be, positioned to contribute.
Correct.
Exactly. So even for those members that will be logging on through our app, so this year it is not just a link that you're going to be receiving. You'll receive instructions which will guide you to I can never pronounce it correctly, WOVA app.
And I'll leave it to you.
And it's actually a really, really fun and really cool website. So it's app. So you'll be able to navigate. You'll be able to upload photos, view photos that people have taken. Also, you can vote. That's the most important thing. That, here at the credit union, we are different from other financial institutions because we put our members first. We are members first in everything that we do. And you guys are also business owners of the credit union. So we encourage our members to come out to the AGM, and that's why it is such a big deal. And we want our members to come out either in person or online so that they can listen to the amazing and phenomenal things that we have done over the last financial year, and also to vote on important matters that are coming up, and also Board of Directors, Supervisory Committee. This is really your opportunity to step in and have a say in your company.
So it's not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday following.
Correct.
29th
of November.
We know it's at UCCI. What time is it?
So it's going to be 5:30 until 8 p.m. And we will stick to our agenda once we have the forum.
Yes.
Right. And for people who online or not, it's 5:30 in person, 5:30 online.
Yes.
The meeting starts, the agenda is there, you participate, and you can do your thing in person or online.
Correct.
Exactly. And for those of you that are thinking 5:30 to 8, let me just let you guys know, that is just like the worst case scenario that we're thinking of there. Last year, our meeting finished at 7 p.m.?
Yeah, it was very short.
Yeah, or 6 something.
Yeah.
I know it finished and us staff were sitting around looking at each other like, why are we still here? Exactly.
But it speaks to the efficiency of you guys and the timeliness and the idea that you had your agenda, the information went out, people knew what was happening, and you got to it. But that extra time after was fellowship, socializing. Can I ask if it's appropriate? Certainly share with us, But for new members in particular, or members who have never attended in the past, they might say, it's just another meeting. It doesn't matter. To your mind, what is the importance of attending and participating in the AGM?
Okay, so it's hearing about the credit union, what we have done over the past year, as well as for those members who are interested in our dividends. That will be announced as well that night, what the dividends will be, which was for our financial year, August the 1st, 2022 to July the 31st, 2023. And at the end of the AGM, it also gives members opportunities to mingle with our CEO, our board members, our volunteers, staff members, where you may feel more comfortable asking questions. Because we have a lot of members who do online transactions, so not necessarily that they visit the branch. So that would give them that opportunity.
And I would imagine, let me ask, is it an AGM similar to other AGMs, whether it's your strata, your football club, your church? Members get a chance to ask questions, but there are probably things you need to vote on or to decide or discuss or approve. Is it the same thing? I mean, I know the answer, but let's ask.
Yes. It is a business meeting.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it is a business meeting. So a lot of important topics will be spoken about, and there will be some important votes that will take place. For example, one of the things that our members will be asked to vote on is the amount of money that we put aside for our educational grant. Annually, we put aside $300,000, and we give that to our members. They don't have to give it back to us. They don't have to come back and work to us. We give it to our members just so that they would be able to go and further their education. So these are some of the decisions that our credit union is asking our members to make on this evening. So definitely come on out. I mean, it is not going to be by any means a party, but it's a good evening, and it's going to be an interesting evening, even though it is a business meeting. Once we start talking about one subject, it will be intriguing, and it'll move on to the next topic. And we do monitor, we do, how am I going to say this
You
now?
manage them on the questions and the time that's given to each person.
Yeah,
Correct.
moderate. Thank you very much.
I didn't want to jump in, but I appreciate because sometimes I want to say a word. What's that word?
Yeah.
But it's the excitement, isn't it? It's the
right there. I couldn't get it out.
Not a problem.
So we can moderate. So I mean, you don't have to worry about members getting up, because some people may get up and say, "Well, I applied for a loan and I didn't get through," or "I wanted to open up a new account for so forth and they didn't qualify." You don't have to worry about all that.
Yeah.
That type of information is taken aside, and we speak to those members individually. So it is a very streamlined, effective, and important meeting.
And you have an agenda, and part of that is to help to manage the time, motivate the discussions, but also show a sense of greater respect for people and what we're doing. The agenda, will that be sent to members prior? If so, do we know A, when, and B, what may be on the agenda, if it's not too early to ask? I mean, it's still 2 weeks out, right?
Yeah, well, we actually sent out the agenda and the notice to all of our members yesterday by email.
Yes.
And we had it in the Compass last week, Friday, the 10th of November. We had it in the Compass. And for those members that do not have email, check your postbox because we sent it to you by mail as well. So we definitely made sure that all of our members were made aware and are aware of this important meeting.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you were able to take time out. Thank you very much for, coming and share with us, because sometimes all of us, I think myself included, we know it's in good hands, so we don't have to go, and then afterwards we wish we had. After this break, you guys got a couple of minutes. You want to share with us some more about, the upcoming AGM and the credit union, and it's going to go quickly.
Sure.
All right. Well, if you got questions, we have answers. And if you have answers, I'm sure we can find problems for your solutions. Nah, just kidding. Join us after the break. Stay tuned.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles until December 31st, 2023. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Freedom, Cayman Rack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Dwayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And just a few minutes left, but a special thanks, if I might, to the wonderful team represented here, at the credit union, Ms. Nancy and Ms. Lisa, to you and all your colleagues. Thanks for doing the great work. It's a partnership. And hopefully, as we attend the AGM on the 29th, we'll see that collective effort. We have a very strong, robust financial services sector, and the role the credit union plays, its members truly contribute. Have a look at the financial statements. There's a few dollars in the account there, collectively, right, Ms. Nancy?
Oh, yeah, we got lots of money.
And it's because collectively we pooled our resources.
That's right, we did it together.
Yeah.
We did it together, yeah.
That unity is what is important.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I like to touch to say that we actually do contribute by volunteering and to non-profit organizations throughout the year. So we do gain, but we do contribute back out by donating.
Good follows good, my mama says. And the idea that you, either as an individual or as a team of staff members volunteering through something, as an organization participating, the scholarships that you give to members, it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 or 2,000. That's money that a student can put to good use and will come in handy irrespective of whether they have other scholarships or loans. But it shows that we're sowing good seed. And that level of, good corporate citizenship is important. And we do it together.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we need, if I might ask, and please share with us because I don't want time to go and I get too excited. Although it's 2 weeks away, you sent out the notices, the agenda is there. As members, 2 questions. Do we need to do anything to say we're coming? Do we just show up? Do we just log on? Do we need to make that, RSVP as if you were coming in a sense?
So all of our members, keep your eyes open because if not late this week or early next week, you will receive an invitation from us where we're going to ask all of our members to pre-register, whether you're going to attend in person or online. Sorry, we're going to ask all of our members to register because we need to know how many people are going to come.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we have enough chairs, we have enough space, we have all those good things for you guys. We want you to be comfortable when you come out. So keep your eyes open for that email. And then also to further prepare yourself, because in order for you to come out and vote, all of our members have to be in good standing, which means that your account cannot be inactive or dormant, which means you've had to have activity on your account within the last 3 months. And you need to have either one form of valid ID on file. So check online. Check your account, make sure that everything's up to date, all that your KYC is good, and because you don't want nothing to stop you the night of the AGM. Now, don't forget, this is the credit union. We do things differently. We would never, ever, ever allow you guys to show up and think, yes, I'm going to be able to vote, and then we'll be like, sorry, no, that'll never happen. Our credit union, we take it a step further. So we will call you, we'll text you, we'll email you ahead of the day, and we'll say, okay, hey, we noticed you registered, but we need you to do this for us. Can you email it off to me? Make it really quick and simple and easy because we want our members to be in good standing.
So like other meetings, and just for those who don't know, there are some people who want to attend, but for whatever reason can't. A word that I was introduced to way back, proxy. Can a member A says, I can't make it, but I would like member B to, is that Paul?
No, sorry, it's not possible.
No, I know, but...
And hence the reason we're allowing members to register and join online to give them that option as well, just in case they can't make it in person. So we're giving them that flexibility. We're hoping for a great turnout, whether it be online or in person. And we look forward to seeing all of our members there in good standing.
Right. And I appreciate you allowing us to ask that, because sometimes we know in other settings, and there's a particular reason I think it's a valid reason that we have to be in person, no proxies. The other question, some entities would have a meeting and they might say, well, prospective members, but this is an annual general meeting for the members only. That's where membership has its privileges.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we do allow for some guests to come. So if you have a spouse that is you're married to and they don't have an account with us. I don't know why they wouldn't, but let's just see if they don't. I mean, we're not going to turn you away. I mean, we may have some members that are just recently opened their account. They may not necessarily be able to vote as yet, but we still encourage our members to come out and also any prospective members. But it is a member event. So if you do come out as a guest, you will not be able to vote. You will not be able to participate, democratically in certain ways, but you can, by all means, watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe for clarification, identification for some who may not know. Let's say you're a member that has $1 and you're a member that has $1,000 or whatever the sum is. In some organizations, your weighted vote is depending on maybe your contribution. One member, one vote.
So with the credit union, it is one member, one vote. It doesn't matter whether you have $1 million or you have $1. To us, it's one vote. Right. And hence the reason we say, and we always say, members helping members, or members are owners.
Right.
So we look at all members as owners equally.
Unlike the U.S. with the Electoral College, the state has so many votes for the president. Doesn't matter your population, it's one. No matter your deposits, it's one.
Correct.
Exactly.
One vote, one man.
My little $25 means just as much to the credit union as your $1 million plus that you have in here.
There you go.
Yeah,
and I mean, Dwayne, you can speak for that as well, right? I mean, being a member of the credit union.
Yes, proud member.
And coming into the credit union, I think you can say we treat all of our members equally.
Yeah.
No matter whether you're Miss Patricia Eswick walking down the aisle to come or you are a man off the road from NRA.
Yeah.
You are treated equally.
From the opening of the door by whomever exiting or the team there. I must say that. And that's, for many of us, that is important. You feel a warm welcome and invitation, and you transact your business, and if you have a question, maybe you're just flustered for some reason. You guys have been fantastic, and I like that. My dollar is as important as my $2.
Yeah.
And you treat each one with the respect that we deserve. So, hoping that it'll be a great, not just in-person attendance, but attendance generally, and for you giving up that option of being virtual. And our times or our schedules are sometimes challenging.
Yep, it's pretty crazy.
I like how you said that.
It is really crazy. Right. So at the end of the day, whether you're at home with your children, helping them with homework, or doing schooling, or whatever it is that you're doing, you now have that opportunity just to log on and, play a role, play an important role in your credit union and listen. You can participate, you can vote, all of those things. So you don't physically have to be doing it out in public, so you can stay home in your comfy PJs and do it.
There you go. Pour your late afternoon tea. Exactly. Well, thank you very much. And if you wish, I'll extend the opportunity for some closing thoughts. Miss Lisa, to you first, if you wish.
Okay, Dwayne, we just want to thank yourself and Radio Cayman for having us, and we look forward to seeing all of our members on November the 29th at the UCCI.
And again, I'm going to repeat everything Miss Lisa said because she said it so perfectly. Just want to thank you so much for having us. And also to all of our members out there, come out on the 29th of November. Check your emails because we will be sending out the invitations shortly. Stay tuned. So we hope to see you guys there.
Well, thank you both for coming. And, this is work for you. So I know you have to go back and do more work. Thanks for taking the time. And I trust that our members will continue to participate, not just in the ATMs, but in the volunteer endeavors to appreciating that we will collectively benefit if we work collectively together.
Correct.
Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and what remains of a week, each day and each second gets even better.
Thank you, Dwayne.
All right.
Thank you.
To our listeners, the Credit Union's AGM, the 29th of November. So just be on the lookout, be in attendance physically or virtually. Now, tomorrow's Friday, right, Mr. Paul? And Fridays mean like the Mondays and the Wednesdays preceding it. You get a chance to start your day with Mr. Art for the record. So be a part of his discussions every Monday, Wednesday, and tomorrow to end your week. Come back for Talk Today right after the midday news. We've got some good things in store for you. All right. To my friends, have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow, God's willing.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.